Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist,
I'm Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
and together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion,
In our opinion.
of course. We're pretty good at fencing too. But
That's right, not
yeah.
bad.
Well, what's the subject today?
Okay, we're going to talk about canes, Brad, and not necessarily, maybe you're choosing this cane for yourself, or maybe you're choosing it for, one of your parents or an in-law or something like that. Brad and I are both in that situation now where we've had to fit parents or in-laws with gait aids because they've lost their balance. So we're going to talk about just canes today because there's a whole variety of them, and some of them give more stability than others, and there's some that are appropriate in certain instances and not others. So why don't we start talking about, Brad, probably just the standard cane.
You want to start with the cane?
Don't you think?
I wanted to start with the Hemi Walker, but
All right,
I have to start with the cane.
Whatever you're going to do.
Well, okay then. The Hemi Walker, this is what the Hemi Walker looks like. It's a pretty, it's pretty big.
Hemi means half.
Yeah, half of a walker.
And it's a half of a walker, and what's cool about it is you don't need both hands to use it.
Right. I think the Hemi Walker, we don't need to spend a lot of time on. If you're going to have a Hemi Walker, you're going to have already seen a therapist more than likely and get this prescribed from you. The height adjustment is the same as with the cane. When you stand up tall, you let your arm down, and the grip should go right about at the crease of the wrist. It can go up or down a little bit, but that's the general rule of thumb. These fold up, and they can get put away. But one thing about these is they're very big and bulky, and it's someone that I usually use these mostly with people that's had a stroke.
That's exactly right.
And the person will need
and
that.
they really need to lean over a lot. They really need to rely on it.
Exactly. Not really used very much in public. People, it's just not a real common.
I won't even see most people that need this. A lot of them can't even walk on their own.
Right.
They're having to lean on it so much that you're afraid they're going to fall over.
So that is our. We'll just kind of put this off to the side. You're going to
let you know that's there.
Yep.
But step down from that would be what we call the quad cane. Quad meaning 4. It's got 4 tips on the bottom here to provide more stability. A lot of people look at these and they find them desirable because they think it gives me more stability, and it does.
Right.
And what's nice about it, it doesn't fall over when you let it stand.
That's a big plus.
That's a big plus because canes are always falling over. You'll find out, well, if you need to use them or have somebody use them. The problem that I see with these, Brad, is sometimes when you're walking and they hit,
Yep.
there's just not that stability, especially if you're trying to walk with any speed.
Mm-hmm.
They hit
clunk
irregularly, and if you're walking fairly slow, you can put them down and hit stable.
Yeah.
But I would say that's probably the biggest fault I find with that.
Right.
And they have ones, by the way, quad canes with the legs much more spread out too.
They call it a large base quad cane.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so you'll see a much larger base, but they're more clumsy too. One thing that you'll notice if you look in close here, see how the main shaft is offset to one side. The feet are more over to this side and this side. It's really important when the person uses it, this is set up to be on this side. So can you come down here?
So this is for a right-handed person right now.
Right. So if they're walking here, it should be offset like this. If you did it this way, you can see more potential to trip, get your toe to bounce on there, and obviously have a fall risk, and we want to minimize that. So make sure it's that way.
Luckily, all these can be changed.
Yes, and how do you change that, Bob?
Well,
it took me a while, the first time I ever did this.
You just unscrew
I
it
thought I
here.
gotta get another one for a right-handed person.
And then you push the button in, and then you just flip it all the way around, and the button reappears on the other side.
Yeah, it's like magic.
Yeah, it's like magic.
Kind of fun.
And now this is set up for a left-handed
Right.
person.
Now, one thing I want to point out, this is a really minor point, and it really doesn't need to be brought up, but people always think you have to have the cane like this, but I don't know why you can't walk like this. It's
That's
pretty
true.
much the same thing, and then you
That's
don't have to
true.
do
You
that.
won't have to make the adjustment.
Right, if you cannot adjust it because your fingers aren't strong enough, or I've had these that they're so old you cannot use them.
Yeah.
But if they're that old, you should get a new one probably. But anything else on a quad cane, Bob?
Tips can wear out. Tips can wear out on a regular cane. The way I always check a cane, probably it's not as important with these, because maybe when we go into these canes, but I always test a cane. I don't know if you do the same thing, Brad, but when the tips start to wear, I push down like that to see that it's catchy.
Right.
Because a lot of times you hit it and they'll just slide away on you.
When the rubber on the tip gets old, they're sliding.
Yep, rubber.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not as important on these because you do have the 4 base,
Right.
but you still want it to grip. But
You'll see if you look at them close. they'll wear through, and then you got metal pointing, and then they're really
They get
slippery.
slippery.
Yeah.
They just, as rubber ages.
Exactly.
All right, so then we're going just to the regular standard cane, right, Brad?
Yep, the old standard
Some of
cane.
them are round base, some of them are,
I was
oh,
thinking.
sorry, did you have a whole?
I've got this,
sequence you wanted
yeah.
to?
The traditional cane is a cane like this, except for their wood. I don't have a wood one here, but they're wood and it's the hook cane, looks like the shepherd's hook. Very common. These are the kind that you'll see from great grandpa, and it's kind of a
Yeah,
handy.
and you gotta cut them off.
Yeah, if it's wood, you cut off, and if you've got a metal one and it's too tall, you can cut those off. Use a pipe cutter. They work excellent. They use a nice rounded radius, and you can put the tip back on. You pull it off, cut it off. You can use a hacksaw too.
Remember, measure twice, cut once.
Exactly, and the other thing is you can always cut it off, but you can't cut it on. So like in this case, this one's too short for me. It has to be up somewhere in this range. Obviously no good for me, hang it on the wall and use it for a souvenir. So that's your standard hook cane. Now let's go to the more modern hook cane. Oh, the other thing I like to do with a cane bob is I always go like this.
Aren't you something?
It's like Fred Astaire. Anyways, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, now this very popular design right now, the handle comes up and it's a horizontal grasp. They got a little thing on here for your wrist. Okay, you can put it that way. And the adjustment on these are all the same. Now these, they do almost always have a threaded knob here, a thumb screw. So once you get it adjusted to the right height, that's about right, then you tighten that down. If you don't tighten it down, they make noise and it's not as secure. Tighten it down, just your fingers is all you need. And that's your standard grip. You got the hook, you got your straight grip, and I like this one.
Yeah, I do too.
The pistol grip. Okay, it's pistol grip because it looks like a pistol. You know, you got grandchildren, they're going to play with it a little bit. Make sure they're careful, but everything is the same on a pistol grip. A height adjustment, check your tip.
Very comfortable handle.
Yeah, it's more ergonomic. Some people really like that. And if you go to the store, you'll find other varieties too. They make some variety that has a real wide base, and I like that.
Yeah.
Some people get problems with their palm. They get that medial nerve gets irritated because they're putting so much pressure on there, so they need more surface area. And you'll find those usually in the drugstores. They have a variety of canes.
Different colored canes.
Oh,
now,
they
too.
make pretty ones. I mean, these are boring compared to the colored ones they have now. They can have them that look like this tie. This is a Garcia tie. And I'm not kidding you, they look as nice as this tie. And it's fun. It's fun to go shopping.
The other thing I
for
want to
canes.
say about canes is that in general, a lot of people are reluctant as they get older to
Yeah.
use a cane because of their pride.
The stigma.
And the thing is, I said, is it better to limp along like this and go, well, I really, I don't want to use a cane, or is it better to use the cane and be more stable like this? I mean, people think they look younger doing this than they do with a cane.
Right.
So
Now, the other big question, and this is something that bothers me because of that show called House, is which hand you use the cane in.
Sure.
Okay, if you watch that movie Dr. House, he's got a right leg that's bad or left, I don't know, and he's got the cane in the
On the
same side. Almost always, 95% of the time, if your right side's the bad side, you put the cane and the opposite.
it's going to look more natural.
Right.
Because when you see House walking, he's going like this, as opposed to if he had on the opposite side and he put the cane with he would have almost a normal walk.
I want to call the director up on that. I don't even watch it because that's the way it is.
I don't like the dramatic effect.
I don't like the cane. I don't really like him either. But anyways, anything else on canes, Bob?
I think that's it.
All right, thank you.